Welcome to the deep dive. So, in the 1990s, there's this frustrated engineer staring at a black and white board game, and he accidentally invents something that, everyone pretty much dismissed as an ugly fad.
Right, an ugly fad until a global pandemic made it literally vital for human survival.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. Today's mission explores our source notes on the history and impact of the QR code. You use them constantly, but we were uncovering how a super niche auto parts tool became this universal bridge between our physical and digital worlds.
It really is like the ultimate technological underdog story. And it all basically starts with a massive bottleneck at a Toyota subsidiary called Wave.
Oh, right, the car parts manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly. So by the early 90s, the standard barcode was totally failing them. I mean, they were tracking auto parts and serial numbers and batch dates, but a traditional barcode maxes out at about 20 characters.
Which is just tiny. I mean, comparing a standard barcode to what they actually needed is like trying to squeeze an instruction manual onto a single Post-it note.
That is the perfect way to put it. So workers there were scanning up to 10 different barcodes on a single box just to log one shipment.
That sounds like an absolute nightmare for assembly line speed.
Totally. So to fix this, an engineer named Masahiro Hara looked at a game of Go.
Wait, the board game with the little black and white stones?
Yeah, that exact one. Because Go uses a grid, he realized that if a scanner could read data both left to right and top to bottom simultaneously, the data space just multiplies exponentially.
Oh, wow. So instead of reading a single horizontal sentence, the scanner is basically reading an entire crossword puzzle all at once.
Precisely. That one shift took the capacity from 20 characters to over 7,000 numeric characters in a single square.
That is a massive jump. But, capacity is totally useless if the scanner can't read it in a fast-paced, messy factory setting, right?
Right, which is why every QR code has those 3 massive squares in the corners.
Oh, the target-looking things. I always wondered what those were for.
Yeah, they're for instant orientation. The scanner immediately locks onto them to figure out which way is up, no matter what crazy angle you hold the device at.
Okay, but even with instant orientation, factories are super messy. Like, a grease smudge over a standard barcode pretty much renders it totally unreadable.
And that is exactly where Reed-Solomon error correction comes in.
Reed-Solomon? What's that?
It's the same underlying math used to fix scratched CDs. The algorithm essentially creates these backup puzzle pieces of the data and bakes them right into the pattern itself.
Wait, really? So it can actually rebuild its own missing information?
It can. A QR code can completely rebuild itself, even if 30% of it is ripped or dirty or totally obscured.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting to me. Wave patents this incredibly robust, high-capacity technology, right?
Oh, they secured the patent.
But then they just give it away for free. I don't get that. Why give up the monopoly on something so powerful?
I know, it seems super counterintuitive. But choosing not to exercise those patent rights was actually a strategic masterstroke.
How so? Because they missed out on huge licensing fees.
Sure, but if they demanded fees, competitors would have just built their own fragmented proprietary versions. By giving it away as an open standard, they ensured it became the unified global baseline by the year 2000.
Meaning everyone could use it, so everyone actually did?
Exactly. If it wasn't open, it would have died off.
I mean, making it free didn't really guarantee success, though, at least not in the West. I remember trying to scam these things back in, 2012.
Oh man, the early days were rough.
It was a total nightmare. You had to use these clunky third-party apps that usually crashed or sent you to desktop sites that totally broke your phone. I just completely wrote them off as a fad.
You and everyone else. The QR code went through this 5-year dark age from about 2010 to 2015 because the user friction was just way too high.
So what actually saved it then?
2 massive shifts. First, Apple integrated a QR scanner directly into the native iOS camera app in 2017, and Android quickly followed.
Oh, right. Suddenly you just point your camera and it magically works.
Exactly. That completely erased the tech friction. But the real necessity arrived in 2020.
Right, the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, the pandemic demanded totally contactless interactions literally overnight. Suddenly, restaurant menus, vaccine passports, and scan-to-pay services like Venmo and Pix relied entirely on the QR code.
That makes total sense. So it took a global crisis to force mass adoption.
What's truly fascinating here is how the complete removal of tech friction, colliding with a global crisis, permanently alters human behavior.
Yeah, COVID definitely proved that linking a physical table to a digital menu was seamless. But that link does something much bigger than just ordering food, right?
Oh, for sure. Tagging physical items basically creates a digital double in the cloud. It fundamentally changes how physical objects exist.
Like a digital twin of the actual object.
Exactly. It is a massive step toward the digitization of existence itself. As long as that digital data exists, the information linked to that physical point remains completely accessible.
Bridging the gap between our temporary physical world and the immortal digital realm.
Right. It connects the two in a permanent way.
So think about this next time you scan a code on a coffee cup or a transit poster. If a QR code bridges our physical world with that immortal digital realm, what happens to an object's identity when its digital footprint permanently outlives the physical thing itself? Ponder that.
You know, a few years ago, we all kind of agreed that the QR code was totally dead. But then now, it took over literally every restaurant table, and now it's basically evolving into this universal interface for the Internet of Everything. So, okay, let's unpack this.
It really is like the ultimate tech comeback. Welcome to today's deep dive. We're looking at a pretty huge stack of notes and research on the future of these little black and white squares, and our mission today is to figure out how they are quietly taking over the world.
Right. And to see where this is going, we really first have to look at the grocery store checkout, because the traditional 1D barcode is officially on its way out.
Yes, exactly. GS1 is pushing this thing called Project Sunrise 2027. Basically, by 2027, they want to globally replace those old barcodes with 2D QR codes. Specifically, it's called the GS1 Digital Link.
Which makes total sense when you think about it. I mean,
Right.
a traditional 1D barcode is basically just, it's a dumb license plate. It just tells the scanner, you know, this is a box of cereal.
Right, whereas this new QR code is like getting a full vehicle history report. Yeah, it holds expiration dates, batch numbers, nutritional data, all of it. And the reason that history report is so powerful is that it lives on the web, not just printed on the cardboard box.
Because a 1D barcode is really just a static string of numbers.
Exactly. But the new GS1 Digital Link is an actual web address connecting that physical item to a live, updatable database in the cloud. What's fascinating here is how that shifts the entire life cycle of a product.
Wait, how so? What does that actually change for you and me at the store?
Well, because the code links to batch and expiration data, retailers can automate what they call smart markdowns. So if a carton of milk is, say, 2 days away from expiring, the system just drops the price automatically.
That's incredibly smart.
Right. Or if there's a safety recall on a specific batch of spinach, the cash register will instantly block you from buying it.
Wow. But, you know, knowing a carton of milk is expired is really just data retrieval. I feel like the real leap happens when that data becomes spatial.
Spatial, yes.
Because you aren't just scanning a code to read a website anymore. You're scanning it to literally change what you see in the room. Like you scan a pair of shoes and suddenly see them overlaid on your own feet in real time.
Or you scan an anatomy textbook and a 3D, fully interactive model of a human heart just floats right above the page.
That is wild.
And the applications are intensely practical, too. If your car gets a check engine light, you can just scan a code under the hood, and an AR overlay shows you exactly which cap to unscrew and, how much oil to pour in.
I could definitely use that. And the codes themselves are getting much smarter too, right? Using dynamic routing. So you don't need a different code for every single situation.
Oh, totally. A restaurant's QR code routes you to a breakfast menu at 8 a.m., but
because the server checks the clock, that exact same printed code sends you to the dinner menu at 6 p.m.
Exactly. It's temporal logic. And visually, they're changing, too. Using AI, we're seeing these amazing artistic QR codes. Because QR codes have built-in error correction, meaning up to 30% of the code can be missing or completely obscured, and it still stands perfectly.
Wait, really? 30%?
Yeah. So AI can hijack that dead space to hide the scannable pattern inside a beautiful high-def image or, brand art.
Hold on, though. If the AI blends the code so perfectly into a piece of art, aren't we kind of defeating the entire purpose? Like, if I don't know it's a QR code, I'm not going to scan it.
That is the exact tension designers are facing right now, balancing aesthetic integration with obvious functionality. We essentially have to train users to expect interactivity everywhere, to look at a piece of art and just know they can interact with it.
Which means if these codes are unlocking our physical environment and our personal items, securing them becomes a massive priority.
Huge priority.
We're getting into areas where these codes connect to our actual identities.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, QR codes are basically becoming the literal keys to our biological and digital selves. Like in healthcare, medicine bottles are starting to feature QR codes that verify authenticity via the blockchain to stop counterfeits.
Right.
You scan it, and you get personalized video instructions for your specific dosage.
But wait, if I drop that pill bottle on the street, anyone could just scan it and access my medical information.
Well, that's where the next layer of security comes in. Future secure QR systems will require a biometric scan, like Face ID or a fingerprint, after you scan the code to actually unlock the payload.
Oh, so the code alone doesn't do it,
Exactly. That makes them secure enough for medical records or even digital passports.
which we desperately need because of, quishing.
Ugh, quishing, yes.
It's terrifying. Attackers are slapping fake QR stickers over legitimate ones, like on parking meters or concert posters, to steal your credentials or your payments.
It's a massive vulnerability, but defenses are adapting. Camera apps and browsers are now integrating AI-driven pre-scan analysis.
So it checks the URL
Before you even click, yeah, to check the reputation and routing behavior. And physically, brands are moving toward proprietary, non-clonable holograms baked right into the code to prove it hasn't been tampered with.
So what does this all mean? We're taking this pixelated little grid and turning it from a static, low-data link into this dynamic, secure, and incredibly powerful spatial tool.
It's a complete paradigm shift. We are moving away from merely retrieving information on a screen to engaging in rich, verified experiences layered right over the physical world.
Leaving you with this to mull over. If every physical object around us soon features a dynamic AR-triggering QR code, does the real world simply become one giant, clickable web browser? A world where the tech we once thought was dead is suddenly the lens we use to see absolutely everything.